model.
Prevailed and takes home the checkers here at Knoxville Raceway.
Checkered flag is out for Spangler as they come across the line here.
The 217 coming off of 4. It'll be hit.
Coming there on 3 and 4. Saller gets win number 2 tonight.
Randy Shreves from 19th to victory.
The cars 3 and 4 out here. It's going to be Watson for the win. It's going to be Shreves getting the win.
He sees the checkered flag win. Give it to William Watson.
All right, we're just waiting here for this to come live, and we'll be in the qualifying here as we start tonight. Good evening to everyone watching either at Coast2Coast Racing Network or over here at Fleeger Farm TV for another episode of On the Pole here tonight. Night broadcaster Fleekster here in the booth as here we go. They're coming live here as they roll out of the corner. Come on now. You going to do what I need you to, or are you going to be a pain in the butt here tonight? Oh, come on now. There it goes. All right, there we go. Now we got it. Everything's working good now. As you just watch here, as you see Pat Boyce out there, currently second on the board with a 12.603. Barker with a 12.520. Jeff Sharp with a 12.567. Looking there at Mason Hine. He'll come across the line with a 12.891 at the moment. Now at 12.786. Vecchio with a 13.146. So they got 12 drivers here tonight. As they bring it on out here, let's go and get us some sound properly. There we go. As we watch them roll down here, we got Armando Malgosa. There you watch. Kurt Schatz is rolling out here, trying to get his time on the track. In that number 218, in the corner number 1, up there to the high side as they roll it on off. Back down around here into the front stretch, down off the corner. In the corner number 3 and 4, back along here. Great job up there along the top side. Trying to get it wiggled in there out of Edders, Pennsylvania. And that 218 qualifying ended. We're getting ready for heat number 1 here tonight for your limited late models with the Mission 22 Hometown Heroes this Wednesday night. Here is your heat number 1 grid. Joe Marcel's going to start out there on the pole in the number 028. Then that number 2 is going to be Alec Uber there in the number 2 position here tonight. In row number 2, that's going to be Pat Boyce out there driving the number 41. We're starting there in 3rd with Jeff Barker. And the 513 is going to be starting outside row number 2 in 4th. Bobby Good driving the number 7 is going to be inside row number 3 in 5th position with Mason Hine to his outside in the number 89. Here we go, getting ready for the start here. 6 laps the distance. One more time around here as they work off the corner. And out here in the corner number 1, Joe Marcel out in front in that number 028. Alec Mover there in the 2nd. Driving for the number 2 machine. Look out there on his inside is the 41 of Pat Boyce as they try to roll on through here. As you see the times rolling there. Coming there off corner number 4. Down through in the corner number 1. Everybody side by side there, swinging it off onto the backstretch. And out here onto the front stretch they go. There you see Alec Uber there in second. With the 41 of Pat Boys there in third. Working down there underneath. That's Mason Hine in the number 89. Can't quite get there. They're working on down here in through 3 and 4 once again. Down here in the corner, number 1 and 2. Onto that back stretch. Hopefully I'm right. Nope, front stretch, sorry. In through 1 and 2. Final lap here for Joe Marcel. Up there on the outside. Coming down there in the corner, number 3 and 4. Joe Marcel will get the win here in heat number 1 for your limited late models here this Wednesday evening. Joe Marcel getting heat number 1 win. Now with there being only 2 heats, this will be for your outside grid. But wait a moment, let's go ahead and get you your results for heat number 1. We got Joe Marcel, as we said, your winner. Alec Uber there in second. Mason Hine finishing third here tonight with Pat Boyce in fourth. Jip Barger in fifth and Bob the Good in sixth. All right, heat number 2. Here we go. Armando Melgoza there out front. Getting that pole position. Kurt Schatzer in second. Chad Lackey rolls off third tonight in that number 66 with Jeff Sharp in the number 280. Outside row number 2 in fourth. Inside row number 3 is Dean Reynolds in that number 79 with Michael Baccio out there in sixth. Driving that 147. All right, here we go. Getting ready for heat number 2. This will decide your inside row here tonight. So 5 drivers. Kurt Schatzer did not take the grid. And everybody worked there in 1. Pace car pulls off. I'm sorry, no, that's out of 4. There we go. Green flag underway as they head on out there in the corner number 1. Dean Reynolds down there on the inside, going to pick it up a spot here off the start. As they work down there in the 1 and 2, and the 78 there, Malgosa, gets a little too sideways there, coming through off of 4. As they now work there through 1 and 2. Reynolds there now underneath. So 280 of Jeff Sharp, and they work down out of the corner. Cross the stripe in the corner number 1. Out front, Chad Lackey. Jeff Sharp there in second. Third being Dean Reynolds. As they work there off of 4. Cross the stripe in the corner number 1 once again. Here as we are at give me here, I forget which track we're at. We're here at Limaland Motorsports Park here tonight. And we're down through off of the backstretch in through 3 and 4. Heading out onto the front stretch once again. Jeff Sharp there in second. Chad Lackey out front with Dean Reynolds third. Michael Baccio there in fourth. Magosa in fifth. Kurt Schatzer came out for a moment, it looked like, and ended up not. Unofficial results there. Schatzer was out, did not go for any laps there. Chad Lackey getting your win here in heat number 2. So here is your heat 2 results. Chad Lackey getting that win. Jeff Sharp there, second. Dean Reynolds third. Michael Baccio there fourth. Armando Malgosa in fifth. Kurt Schatzer in sixth. We'll be back here in a moment after a word from our sponsors with your main event.
Thank you to our sponsors and partners for the 2025-2026 winter season.
All right, we're back here at the Speedway. Warm-ups wind down. Only a few drivers came out to test out the track. Marcel, Hine, Reynolds, Schatzer, Boyd, Sharp, and Uber putting in laps here. Hey, work down there, out to get the grid. Here we go. Your grid for tonight. It's going to be Joe Marcel leading us off on that pole position in that 028. Chad Lackey out of Canada driving the 66 will start outside pole in second. In third tonight, that is going to be the number 2 of Alec Uber starting inside row number 2. And he's outside in fourth, outside of row number 2, the 280 of Jeff Sharp. In third, inside row number 3 tonight is Mason Hine starting in fifth, driving the 89. Then we got Dean Reynolds out there in sixth, driving the number 79. Row number 4 on the inside is going to be a 41 of Pat Boyce with Michael Riccio, who is outside in the 147 in 8. Row number 5 on the inside is going to be Jeff Barker driving for Can-Am Racing, the 513 to his outside Armando Malgosa driving the 78. Bob DeGood starting at 11 tonight inside row number 6. Driving for Can-Am Racing, that number 7. Hammerdown Racing's own Kurt Schatzer. Got to roll off 12th tonight, driving the 218. All right, there is your starting grid here tonight. For your main event, the pace car rolls up. They're coming out of turn 4. Here we go, down and away. 25 laps to go. And down here in the corner number 1, Joe Marcel out there in front, down there across the bottom. Slides it on up, and he makes a dive to the bottom side. Chad Lackey in that 66. Slides it now up in front of Joe Marcel as they work down through the front stretch. Here through turn 3 and 4. Uh-oh! Joe Marcel got tight. Coming through there off the corner. Couldn't get that car to quite turn the way he wanted it to. Giving that lead back over to Chad Lackey as they roll down here through 1 and 2. Back out here onto the backstretch. As you see the 028 up there on that outside lane, trying to get back underway here, trying to make sure he's got it figured out. As they work on up there on that top side, here off turn number 2 on the 3 and 4. 22 laps to go. These laps are going to tick away quickly here tonight. Now they roll down through 1 and 2. You see that 028 down there on the inside up there at the top. There's Chad Lackey. Mason Hine there in a second. Hey, Joe Marcel in third. They roll down there off of the corner in the 1 and 2, down through onto the backstretch. Oh, I'm sorry, I flipped around once again. There's the 028 and Joe Marcel up there on that outside lane. Right there behind the 89 of Mason Hine. 1 lane racing right now, but Kurt Schatzer making something happen there on the bottom. Started there in the back. And they worked there off the front stretch in the corner number 1 and 2. That 218, Kurt Schatzer trying to work his way up through the field here tonight. Up 4 spots already. He started from the back, didn't race in his heat, so this is his first trip out on track with drivers tonight. Head there off turn number 4, going to dive it down there in the... Oh boy, ended up catching that inside barrier that hits out onto the front stretch. That'll let the 513 there get underneath them. Jeff Barker. 15 laps to go. Mason Hine, Joe Marcel still hold on to second and third. Chad Lackey still holds on to your pole position, or holds on to the lead there, I'm sorry. Dean Reynolds there in fifth as they roll in the corner number 1. Bob DeGood ended up out there in the pits. Not sure what happened to Bob the Good, but he's working his way out on track once again. 3 laps now, 4 laps down. Soon to be 5 here as he heads out. As Chad Laggy comes there out of turn number 4. Bob the Good down here in the corner number 3 and 4. They hold on to everything there. They work off of turn 4. Chad Lackey in the 66, hanging on to the lead with Mason Hine and Joe Marcel there, 2nd and 3rd. Dean Reynolds there in the 5th with Pat Boyce in 6th. Alec Over there in the 7th. As you see, that 218. Kurt Schatzer trying to get another spot as the 2. Alec Uber dives back underneath him, coming there out of turn 4. Getting a little bit better turn out of that machine than what Jeff Barton was able to do there. And looks like the 218, Kurt Schatzer fell back behind the 2. Jeff Barker there in the 513, trying to get up there as well. 7 laps to go for Chad Lackey in that number 66 as he works off that front stretch. In the corner number 1. Up here off of 4, now in the 1 again, goes Chad Lackey, 6 laps to go. Bob the Good with a black flag. Joe Marcel, Jeff Sharp, there in 4th. There we got Dean Reynolds there in 5th position, looking to try to get underneath the 280 of Jeff Sharp, and the 028 of Joe Marcel is there as well. 4 laps to go. Can Dino get up there and make something happen there as he works off the backstretch here in the 3 and 4. 4 laps to go for Chad Lackey as he comes across the line. 3 laps, sorry. 3 laps to go as he comes across the line. Mason Hine trying to gain on him there as they work in the corner 3 and 4. Back out here onto the front stretch. 2 laps to go as he works on that bottom side, keeping everybody behind him. As Joe Marcel works on that top side, Jeff Sharp as well. Dean Reynolds trying to figure out where he wants to be, where he wants up top or where he wants to be to try to gain on these guys in front of him. Can't seem to gain it. As Chad Lackey, final lap, down here off of turn number 4 and across the stripe. Chad Lackey gets the win here for the limited late models in your Mission 22 Hometown Heroes from Limerland. Congratulations, Chad Lackey, on your victory win here in the limited lates. Here is your results. Chad Lackey getting the win. Mason Hine 2nd. Joe Marcel there in 3rd with Jeff Sharp 4th. Dean Reynolds in 5th. Pat Boyce there in 6th. Kurt Schatzer there in 7th. Alec Uber there in 8th. Jeff Barker there in 9th. Michael Baccio there in 10th. Armando Magosa in 11th with Bob the Good there in 12th. All right, starting here with Joe Marcel, our 3rd place finisher. Good evening there, Joe. How's it going? Oh, hold on, Joe. I can't hear you. Da, 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 da. Try that. You there now, Joe?
Yes, sir.
There we are. Now we got you. One of the settings got goofed up, apparently.
That's all right. I thought it was on my end, so we're all good.
No. I knew it was on my end. It was just a matter of getting it all set correctly. Great job out there in that 028. Unfortunately, didn't quite hang on to that pole position too long. You look great in the heat, though. Just the competition's just really tough here, later stages of the races.
Yeah, for sure. I knew I had to do something pretty aggressive at the start because it was going to be hard to pass. And, I might have made some major calculations on that one. But that's up for I'm not usually up front. So, the nerves were a little high. So I just started sitting there in 3rd and decided to pull the roadblock and just try to stay on that high line as long as possible.
What was the high line where you wanted to be tonight?
That's the only place I wanted to be, especially with these limiteds. You got to keep the momentum pretty far up there with those. So, yeah, just didn't want to leave that wall.
Well, we know those walls, especially here in iRacing, they sometimes like to reach out and grab you when you least expect it.
Oh yeah, I was giving the wall a couple smooches probably every other lap, so they were definitely reminding me they were there.
Well, congrats getting that third place. You got any sponsor shout-outs? Anybody you want to thank for getting third tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Coast2Coast for putting on an amazing league. Awesome place to drive. You for a great broadcast. Mission 22 for putting on the Hometown Hero sponsor. Wouldn't be able to race without them. SFM, everybody at the Short Fuse Motorsports team. GS Designs, Main Street Auto, Fast Eddies. All those guys on the 028.
All right, well, great job there tonight, Joe, and good luck in your upcoming races if you're coming out anymore tonight.
Thank you. I'll hopefully talk to you again.
We'll see. Good luck.
Thank you.
Now with Joe Marcel, your third place finisher. Now we'll get with Mason Hine. Good evening there, Mason. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Enjoying that weather there in Cumberland, Maryland?
Oh, yeah. About 13 inches of snow. You know, ice. It's great.
That's pretty much what we have here in Western PA, so...
Oh, okay. Good deal. Yeah. Not too far. We're 2 hours from Pittsburgh, so...
Yeah, I'm about 45 minutes north of Pittsburgh.
Okay. Good deal.
Yeah, been dealing with the same stuff. Been out in it a lot. Great job tonight, getting that 89 up there in the second place. Are you happy with your run tonight?
Yeah, I am. I enjoy running these cars. I wish I would have qualified a little better. I could have started up there closer, but Chad's really good, and you know I figured I was just gonna follow him if the top was going away, and he would know before me, you know. And then he kind of went down there, and I just figured I'd try to get some momentum. And he did a good job, and I wanted to race him clean, and you know I was good with second.
Well, you did a great job getting that 89 up there in the second place. Looked like you tried your best to chase down Chad, just couldn't quite make it happen.
Yeah, we were just talking in the waiting room, and he was telling me that he was going to let me have the top, but I just felt like, you know, I could get close to him, but I didn't have enough speed to get around him on the outside, so I was trying to use it to kind of keep the momentum going. And I was trying to, at one time I tried to get under him, and it just didn't work out. I didn't want to. I could have very easily slid into him, but you know, hit the brakes or whatever, and figured second would be all right.
Well, you did a great job, and you got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody you want to thank for getting that second place tonight?
Yeah, I just thank you for putting on the broadcast. Mission 22 for sponsoring the classes here, or this class. And then I have a paint business for this Grand Slam graphics. So other than that, I'm just kind of a freeloader, freelancer, and I do my own thing.
Well, congrats, and good luck on any more races you plan to race tonight.
I appreciate it. I'll be in the 360s.
All righty. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I'm Mason High. Now we'll get with Chad Lackey. Good evening there, Chad. How's it going?
Good, yourself, Adam?
I'm doing well, and I'm sure you're feeling pretty stoked yourself for getting that Vertex graphics machine up there in the victory lane.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't do these cars too often, so it's always nice there to purchase in victory lane.
Well, you did a great job doing so here tonight. You know, the competition, as we always say, it's really tough here at Coast to Coast, so anytime you can pull off a victory is always a great night.
Oh, every night's always a good night. Everyone in this league is excellent drivers, so it's never a walk in the park. It's always you got to sit off your toes and make your moves, and it's a great league to be a part of.
Alrighty, well, congrats. And you got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody you want to thank for getting that victory tonight?
Yeah, Billings Motorsports, Eureka Media, Vertex Graphics, all the boys in Discord, yourself, Adam, for doing the broadcast, Mission 22 for sponsoring tonight's league, and say hi to everyone watching. Hope you enjoyed the race.
Alrighty, great job there tonight. And we'll see. Are you racing more tonight?
No, I got another league I got to do. I got to do that dirt car esports tonight. So.
Well, good luck over there, and we'll see you over here next week.
Oh, thanks, Adam.
All right, you have yourself a great night there. So that was Chad Lackey, your winner here in the limited late models from your Mission 22 Hometown Heroes. So great job. We'll be back here shortly with more racing action, so don't go anywhere. We got more racing coming up, this time with the 360 Wing Sprint Cars.
They say it's a matter of time, 1,000 days and the sun won't shine before I come back to you. For your love I will go far, I wanna be wherever you are. I know I'm coming back for you.
Brother, it's good to see you.
Our love is a river long, the best ride in a million wrong. I know I'm coming back to you. And I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. And I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. I'm making my way home. I'm making my way.
Our biggest thing is getting the word out, awareness of Mission 22, the struggle as it is to fight PTSD and suicide. My name is Corey Decker. I'm the state representative for Mission 22. This year's been great. We got a bunch of great guys that have gotten together and decided to create this rally. The word's getting out, and it's turning into quite an event where we can actually help a lot of veterans. It's a great event, but you really have to go and see it for yourself, and it's really one of those things that's an experience. That just going that weekend, we've seen how it changes people.
Precision is our language. Creativity is our weapon. And perfection is the only option. Your ride, your brand, your image, elevated to a level that can't be ignored. This isn't just a wrap, it's a revolution. Regal Wraps and Designs, where power meets style, and style becomes unforgettable. At Regal Wraps and Designs, we don't follow trends, we set them. Every line, every finish, every detail is built to dominate. From flawless vehicle wraps to bold custom designs, we take your vision and redefine it. Seamless statements, artful accents, hues of harmony. We are Regal Wraps and Designs.
All right, we're waiting for everything to come up here. You gonna do what I need you to? Guess not, are we? All right, there we go. Now we're getting there. These guys are gonna need a few moments to get some laps in here for practice. We're running a little ahead of schedule tonight. They're racing around here, getting these cars warmed up. Hey, see up there, you got Michael Vichio, Scott Dobson, Joe Moncel in that 028. Larry Moody out there in the 73. Mason Hine finished second the last race here, running the 89 in the 360s. Brian Moore, senior, out there, driving that number 2. I'm sorry, in second, driving the number 55. right, so Gavin Chatham out there in the 99. He's now second fastest here in warm-ups. Sorry, on hot laps. We'll call him. You got John Clement Jr. there in a third. It wasn't work there off the corner here. Getting things situated. All right, Brian Moore, your fastest out there with a 10.851. As you see, Gavin Chatham there with an with a 10.872. Joe Moss out there down towards the bottom of the list with an 11.177. They work up the corner. Larry Moody out there as well. Larry Moody right now with an 11.126 for his quick time so far in hot laps. As drivers get these cars warmed up and ready to run here tonight. They work there off corner number 3 and 4. And back across here, you watch that 73 out there working. They work down there across the stripe in the corner 1 and 2. All right, they look like they're getting ready here, possibly. We got 11 drivers signed up. Hey, watch me here. Practice still going on. Brian Moore out there on track. There you see Scott Thompson going around the speedway. See if I can adjust his camera a little bit. I want to work down that back straightaway. Trying to get this save here just right so we can keep an eye on the racing action better. They got Gavin Chatham out there in that number 2 spot, or number 2 fastest. As you see him work down that back. There, hot laps are over. Getting ready here for the start of the start of qualifying. Qualifying getting underway. We got 11 drivers ready to take on the race tonight. Now you watch him here coming off. Scott Thompson out there putting some laps in. Heads out there. Out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. John Clemaux Jr. out there in the running a 10.977. Chatham with a 10.790. Scott Thompson with a 11.056. All right, here we go here for heat number 1. Your grid is as follows. Starting out there on pole, Brian Moore in the number 55. Mason Hine starting outside pole in second. Driving the number 89, the 8 of Scott Thompson's going to start inside row number 2 in third with the 99, Gavin Chatham starting there in fourth. Larry Moody in the number 73 starts inside row number 3 in fifth with Michael Machillo there in the 147 here tonight. As we get set to rock and roll here tonight, everybody's looking good. Everybody's wanting to get this underway. Here we go down the backstretch. Work down there in the corner. 1 and 2 once again here. 5 laps to go here on heat number 2. Up there on that top side, everybody single files out except for that 8 of Scott Thompson, who's running that inside lane and making something, trying to work down there. As you see him come down there in a 3 and 4, just doesn't have the power to get up off the corner the way he's hoping. And they now go 3 wide there, coming off of turn 2. Mason Hine now out front. Here comes Brian Moore there in the middle of the track. Gavin Chatham down there on the inside. Here's Brian Moore once again. Down there underneath, Gavin Chatham gets up there running second. Brian Moore, Scott Thompson battling out there for 3rd and 4th. Final lap for Mason Hine, who's up against that outside wall. That's not going to help him out at all. Scott Thompson now, Gavin Chatham out there in the front is going to take the lead here in heat number 1 as they come side by side there. Brian Moore for 2nd, Scott Thompson for 3rd. So here's your heat 1 results. Clip them laps a little quicker than we did in the limited lates. Gavin Chatham getting that win. Brian Moore in 2nd. Scott Thompson 3rd. Larry Moody 4th. Michael Machio there in 5th. And Mason Hine in 6th. All right, here we go with heat number 2. Gonna be starting on pole. Bob the Good driving to number 7. To his outside on row number 1's gonna be Jeff Barker. In that number 513. Joe Massau in the 028. Driving on the inside of row number 2. Starting in 3rd. Joe Klamowicz there in 4th. In the 034. That is Joe Klamowicz Jr. And then we got Thunder Ridge Racing's own Jeff Sharp starting in 5th. In the number 280. Hey, drivers come out down across the front stretch final time. See Jeff Barker out there on the outside. They come here off corner number 4, down through the front stretch into corner number 1, up there to the high side, down there, down the back stretch. As it work up there on the top side, got the 513 of Jeff Barker trying to make it happen. As they work down there off the corner number 2, in the 3 and 4, Jeff Barker, great line up there at the top. John Klamowicz there in 2nd. And you got the 7 of Bobby Good there in 3rd. Working off corner number 4, they go. Klamowicz Jr. working great down there on the bottom side. Marcel up there as well on that high side, trying to make something happen. Now Klamowicz Jr. going to work through the middle of the corner and up off, trying to gain on Jeff Barker. Jeff Barker's got a great line up there at the top. As you watch, 2 laps to go here. Jeff Barker, up there on the outside. Ends up into the outside wall. John Klamowicz Jr. is going to end up getting the win here, possibly. Final corner here coming off. And it's going to be John Klamowicz Jr. getting the win here in heat number 2. He'll be starting outside pole on your feature event here in just a moment. So don't go anywhere. We got your results coming in here momentarily. Jeff Barker, there you see him in 2nd. Joe Marcel 3rd, Jeff Sharp in 4th, and Bob the Good 5th. We'll double check all that here as it comes in. Now here is your Heat 2 results. John Klamowicz Jr. getting that win. Jeff Barker in 2nd, Joe Marcel in 3rd, Jeff Sharp 4th, and Bob the Good there in 5th. All right, now here we go. Coming there off. And we will be back in just a moment after the word from our sponsors.
Thank you to our sponsors and partners for the 2025-2026 winter season.
All right, here we are back at the racetrack. Sorry about it. Took me a moment here. We are getting lined up here for the green flag. Here is your starting grid. Gavin Chatham starting out there on pole with John Clemaux Jr. in second, driving at 0.34. Here in the second row, Brian Moore in third place. That's the inside of row number 2, driving at number 55. The 513, Jeff Barker starting on the outside in fourth. In the third row, inside, starting there in fifth, is going to be the 8 of Scott Thompson. And to his outside in sixth, going to be Joe Marcel in the 028. Row number 4 is going to be Larry Moody, driving to number 73, starting seventh. And his outside, the 280 of Jeff Sharp there in 8th. Row number 5, on the inside in 9th is going to be Michael Machillo driving the 147. The 7 of Bob the Good there in 10th. On his outside, Mason Hine on the inside of row number 6, driving the number 89. We're set to roll here for your here for your main event here for your 360s, and I've had that all gooped up all race long. I am sorry about that. This is your 360 wing sprints. Completely forgot about me needing to change this verbiage here. As they come down here, this is the 360 wing sprint cars as they work here off the corner. And caution is out. First one out to all the racing here tonight. As Bob the Good and Larry Moody get together, most likely, is what I'm seeing here. You're looking at Larry Moody there, missing a wing. Alright, and I didn't quite catch what happened here. Give me a moment here. Trying to see what happened here. My eyes not being very cooperative here tonight. You watch them there in the corner, number 1. Down that back straightaway. And we see, there they are. They just get stacked up there. A couple drivers around and up and over. Alright, here we go. Off and ready for the start here. The green flag, racing 20 laps to go. Jeff Barker out front there on the inside, but Gavin Chatham out there in front, running that race like he needs to, up there on the top side, up against that outside wall. John Clemaux Jr. out there in third. Down there on the inside is Jeff Sharp in that 280. I appreciate everybody tuning in to Coast2Coast Racing Network, along with the people over at FFTV, watching on the pole here tonight. We bring you the action from Lima Land here with the 360 wing sprints. 17 laps to go. Gavin Chatham out there in front, leading this wave, commanding this race. Jeff Barker out there in second. John Clemaux Jr. there in third, with Jeff Sharp there in fourth. Scott Thompson in fifth. Mason Hine there in sixth, with Joe Marcel in seventh. Brian Moore in eighth, with Michael Machillo back here in ninth. Bob the Good 10th. Rolling around there 2 laps down. work on out there. Working off the corner they go. Yeah, you watch them work down off of the corner. There, everybody single file caution back out here. This time for Mason High and Scott Thompson involved. Hey, watch them here, down here in the 3 and 4. These drivers really battling out here as you watch Mason High in that number 89. Just ends up there collecting the 8 there. Scott Thompson spinning around there, bringing out the caution. All right, here we are, green flag back in the air. Gavin Chatham, another great restart, but Jeff Barker working there. Had some John Alex down underneath him there as he works off the corner. Here comes Mason Hine down there on the bottom side, trying to make that inside work underneath the Alex. As you see, Chatham still up there on that high side, making that work great. Barker there in second, Alex there third. That's a head-on off. If you have anything to comment, go ahead and make comments. We will try to read them here on air. As they head down there in the 3 and 4, you got Alex up there in third. Mason Hine in a 4, still battling down there on the inside, getting the nose out there. In the front of Alex, couldn't quite get there, closing that distance. And he's still down there on the bottom, trying to make it happen. And it's, oh man, too close to call. As Alex up there along the top side. Now Mason Hine gets him clear down there on the inside, but John fights back on the outside. Down there off the corner, you see Gavin Chatham up there against that outside wall. We saw it fight a couple drivers there in the heats. We don't want to see that same thing happen there to Chatham. So he's going to be real careful coming there off of that corner. Down through, off the front straightaway he goes. As you see, Barker there in second, Mason Hine in third. As Chatham's back here along that backstretch up there against that outside wall. As Barker's coming down there in through the middle of the corner. You've got Mason Hine there in third. John Alex Jr. there in a fourth. 4 laps to go for Chatham as he works off a turn 4. Now 3 laps to go as he comes down there across the stripe. Down there onto that back straightaway, Jeff Barker out there in second. Chatham working there through 3 and 4. Mason Hine up there off of turn number 4. As you got Mason Hine there third. John Alex there in a 4. Jim Sharp. Oh boy, look at that battle there. Look back here in the back of the pack. You got Jeff Sharp there in the middle. As you got, well, I know that's Joe Marcel there in the middle. Jeff Sharp's on the bottom. Brian Moore up there on the top side as they battle it out hard there for those spots. Gavin Chatham though getting the win here at Lyman Land in the number 99. Your winner tonight, Gavin Chatham in the 360 Wing Sprint Cars. Now here is your feature winners. Your Gavin Chatham out there getting the win. Mason Hine in second. Jeff Barker third. John Alex there in fourth. Joe Marcel fifth. Jeff Sharp there in sixth. Brian Moore in seventh. Scott Thompson in eighth. Michael Vecchio there in ninth. Bob DeGood there in 10th. And Larry Moody in 11th. All right, we'll get with your race winners here momentarily. We wait them on them coming in here. All right, here with me now, Jeff Barker. Good evening there, Jeff. How's it going?
Good, good. How you going, Adam?
I'm doing well. Man, what a night here for racing. I know it's pretty cold most places, outside, but, here in iRacing world, it was a really great evening at Lyman Land for a night of racing.
Yeah, it's downright toasty.
Well, you did a great job bringing that machine up there in the third spot. Are you happy with the performance, or do you think you had maybe a little bit better car than what showed up?
I drove like poo. I was afraid to drive the top after I screwed up in the heat race, so I could have been a little bit faster if I was braver and went up top, but of course I could have crashed and was last too, so it is what it is.
Well, I know that wall kind of scares people away, don't it?
Yeah, if you go in too soft, it'll eat you up. You got to go in full power, and it gets nerve-wracking. I'm not as good at it as Kevin is.
Just not to that comfort level yet, huh?
Yeah, one of these days.
I'm right there with you, Jeff. It's definitely a skill that comes with driving the laps for sure.
Yeah.
So great job bringing it though there in the third place, and I'm hoping you had fun out there.
Oh yeah, I had fun. Got to thank C2C Racing League and oh geez, I'm having a brain fart now. And of course you for broadcasting. I can picture your logo, and I can't think of your logo. Racing Wraps and
that's Regal Wraps and Designs. They sponsor.
Wraps and Designs.
They sponsor the midgets coming up next.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah. Mission 22 sponsored the 360s.
Yep. Mission 22 is actually sponsored the 360s. Yep. Cool. Glad you're on top of it.
Some nights I don't know.
I'll let you get to the next interview there, bud. I gotta go set up for midgets.
All right. Have fun there, Jeff.
Thanks.
All right, how about Jeff Barker there at third. Now we'll get Mason Hyde. Good evening again, Mason. How's it going?
It's good. Going good.
Well, you haven't cracked that top spot yet. Another second place on the night.
Yeah, I felt bad there. I think I got into Scott Thompson there. Didn't feel like I hit him, but then he spun, and I don't know. It should have been him, not me.
It's hard sometimes to really judge where those tires are.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, early in the race too, I got kind of hit the end of that little wreck that was there, and I thought my car was damaged, but it seemed to run pretty normal. So got lucky, got a couple breaks, and was able to get by Jeff there late.
Well, you did a great job getting by him and getting that second spot, and you got sponsors. Shout out to anybody you want to thank there for getting second position here tonight.
Yeah, we'll go with thank you again and thank Mission 22, and I'll get in trouble if I don't thank Justified Motorsports for being a loyal customer, and then Grand Slam Graphics as well.
Alrighty, well, congrats again. And you racing any midgets tonight, or are you going to call it done?
I think I'm going to call it. I got to get my kiddos to bed. So.
Alrighty, well, you have yourself a great night, and great racing tonight. 2 second-place podiums. You got to be happy with that.
Yes, sir. We'll be back again next week. See if we can try our luck again.
Alrighty. Good luck there, and have a great night.
Appreciate it. You too, man. Thanks.
All right, out with Mason High, and I will get with Gavin Chatham. Good evening there, Gavin. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. How do you think that 99 felt up there ripping that rail tonight?
Tell you what, it was on rails. It felt really good up there. No, it was really, really comfortable up there. I had like one hiccup. I thought I was going to put it in the fence, jumped the cushion a little bit there, but I mean, other than that, it was smooth sailing. That car was definitely, it felt really, really good tonight. No, I mean, lucked into it a little bit there in the heat race there, and that sucks for Mason. He made a little hiccup there and allowed to start on the pole, and definitely starting up front is huge, and just that clean racetrack and just able to just smooth sailing and put the car wherever I needed to put it to go out there and do what I needed to do.
Well, it definitely You looked like you had it dialed in there for sure. And
no, it did feel good. A lot of it was throttle control too. I mean, the track was starting to slick up there at the top there, and you couldn't be full throttle down the straightaways there. It just the tires were just going to spin too much, especially with the high gear that it has in the fixed setup. So just being real smooth on that throttle was huge as well. But yeah, no, the car felt really good. I don't know if I could have raced any more better. That's probably used all my mulligans on that one. But no, the car felt really good, and like I said, just starting up front was huge there, being able to just have the racetrack and be able to put the car wherever I need to. I mean, I wanted to be on the top. Anyways, but just being able to get there right away instead of having to fight some cars to get there. But all in all, it worked out really well for us tonight. And it was definitely a good race.
well, it looked like you had a great job out there, and just glad you didn't put it into that wall, because I know you are definitely really on that edge up there.
Yeah, no, it was definitely the one lap. It was a little scary for sure. I thought for sure I was putting it in the fence there. But yeah, no, you just had to be really smooth up there and really consistent. And if you were, that was definitely the fastest way around the racetrack. I think the bottom, I would say probably about maybe like 10 more laps to the top getting run into like that. At the bottom probably would have been a factor again, or maybe even the middle. Because the lap times, I think we're going to start leveling out there. But no, you definitely had to be able to put that right rear rate on that cushion there to be fast tonight.
Well, you did a great job of doing that. You got any sponsor shouts? Anybody you want to thank for getting that victory?
Yeah, first I just want to thank you for doing an awesome job with the broadcast. I want to thank Coast2Coast Racing, all the sponsors, admin, everybody that puts these races on, allows us to come out here and go race. So I thank FTM, Full Throttle Motorsports, Shannon Motorsports, Mike Schick Motorsports Design, Velocity Race Design, Northeast Outlaw Motorsports, Vertex Graphics, Super Dirt Car Series. Want to thank all the sponsors, all the support we get. I just want to thank the fans for coming out and watch these races. I hope we put on a good show for y'all tonight, and I just want to thank my fans as well for coming out and watching the races.
Well, you did a great job. I know we do have a few fans watching here at Coast2Coast Racing Network, and a few over at Fleeger Farm TV as well, which is great to see. Both channels getting some notoriety, as we would say. So, a great job there, bringing home the victory. And are you coming out in the midgets tonight?
No, I don't. I don't usually race it. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll give them a test run, but I typically don't do those. It's usually pretty embarrassing for me. So I usually just stick with the wing sprint cars. So I don't know. Maybe we'll give them a shot tonight. We'll see.
Alrighty. Well, if you do, yeah, good luck. If you don't, have yourself a great night.
Thank you. Always good talking to you. Have a great night.
All right, that was Gavin Chatham, your winner here in the feature event of the 360 Wing Sprints. We'll be back here in a little bit with your midgets from Wriggle Wraps and Design, sponsoring those. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back here in a few moments.
1, 2, 3. Love it, Molly.
They say it's a matter of time, 1,000 days and the sun won't shine before I come back to you. For your love I will go far, I wanna be wherever you are. I know I'm coming back for you.
Brother, it's good to see you.
My love is a river long, the best ride in a million wrongs. I know I'm coming back to you, and I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me.
biggest thing is getting the word out, awareness of Mission 22, the struggle as it is to fight PTSD and suicide. My name's Corey Decker. I'm the state representative for Mission 22. This year's been great. We got a bunch of great guys that have gotten together and decided to create this rally. The word's getting out, and it's turning into quite an event where we can actually help a lot of veterans. It's a great event, but you really have to go and see it for yourself, and it's really one of those things that's an experience. Just going that weekend, we've seen how it changes people.
All right, we're back here at the Speedway, bringing you the Regal Raps Midgets. Qualifying underway as you watch Jack Hitt come out there and lay down a lap time or two there. Brandon Templeton, Bob the Good out there in the 7. Joe Marcel rolling on through there. You see them all rolling out here for your qualifying. As you're looking there at Brandon Templeton out of Corning, Iowa, with a time of 12.309. Jack Hitt with a time of 12.492. You got Scott Thompson there rolling it through. Barker gonna lay out there a time. He's gonna lay down a time there of 12.558 for Jeff Barker. Joe Marcel with a 12.798. Everybody's qualified. 7 drivers, your field here tonight for the Regal Raps Midgets. All right, here we go. Your starting grid. It's going to be Bob the Good here for your heat. Going to be out there in front, getting that pole inside row number 1. To his outside, driving the 513 for Can-Am Racing. Jeff Barker in at number 2. There in third spot, inside row number 2, is going to be Jack Hitt, driving at 217. Brandon Templeton, the number 31 for Hammer Down Racing. Going to be starting there outside in 4th. Inside row number 3 is going to be the number 73, Larry Moody, starting there in 5th. To his outside, Scott Thompson, driving at number 8 for Rolling Thunder, starting in 6th. They're in 7th tonight, inside row number 4, the 028 of Joe Mossau. As you watch them come through there off the corner, everybody's getting set to rock and roll here tonight. And they come down here getting ready for the start. And in corner number 1, Jeff Barker, as they go 3 wide off corner number 4 down here in the corner number 1. Jeff Barker trying to slide it through. Going to stay off of the guy on top. Look to be trying to see there. That's the 513 there. That is Jeff Barker up there on top. Now you got the 217 there. Jack Hitt down there on the inside. Working there off of the corner. And in 1 and 2 once again here. 3 laps to go. We got Bob the Good up there on the outside. Jack Hitt down there on the inside. Jeff Barker back here in 3rd with Brandon Templeton in 4th. Scott Thompson out there in the number 8. Got it slid there a little too sideways. There in 5th, and you watch that back row. Larry Moody and Joe Mussell back out there in the back right now. As you watch Jack Hitt coming around here. Final lap here in the heat race. Working here off the corner, down there through turn 1 and 2. Now here, off of the corner, across the stripe. It is Jack Hitt getting the win here at Namaland for your heat race in the midgets. All right, here, waiting on your results to come in. Here we go. Your heat results are going to be that of Jack Hitt. Brandon Templeton getting 2nd. Bob the Good there in 3rd. Jeff Barker 4th. Scott Thompson 5th. Larry Moody there in 6th. Joe Mossell in 7th. All right, we'll be back after this short message with more with the main event here for your midgets. Don't go anywhere. More racing coming up.
Precision is our language. Creativity is our weapon. And perfection is the only option. This isn't just a rap, it's a revolution. Legal raps and designs, where power meets style, and style becomes unforgettable. At Legal Raps and Designs, we don't follow trends, we set them. Every line, every finish, every detail is built to dominate. From flawless vehicle wraps to bold custom designs, we take your vision and redefine it. Simple statements, artful accents, hues of harmony. We are Legal Raps and Designs.
All right, back here at the racetrack, you got Jack Hitt down there running some times. Brandon Templeton as well. Jeff Barker out there as well running some times. Out there you see the time they're running here in warm-up. Down there off corner number 2. Warm-up comes to a close. We're getting ready for the start of your main event. All right, here is your grid here for your Regal Wrap Midgets. Jack Hitt starts out there on pole in at number 217. Brandon Templeton in second. Driving at number 31, Bob DeGood. They're in third on the inside of row number 2. They're in the number 7. The 513 of Jeff Barker starts fourth tonight outside row number 2. Inside row number 3, that's going to be the 8 of Scott Thompson, rolling off in 5th. In 6th tonight, Larry Moody starts there in the number 73, outside row number 3. Inside row number 4 is going to be Joe Mossell in the 028, and that is your starting grid here for your Regal Wraps Midgets. All right, here we go. As we got 25 laps the distance. Who's it going to be out here getting the win? That is here to find out. All right, down there up of the corner. Pace lights are off. Pace car is pulling off. Here we go. Green flag ready to drop for your main event of the midgets. Here we go. Down the front straight away. That Hooters machine of Jack Hitt takes off down there on the inside. Brandon Templeton trying to chase it down up there on that outside lane. But Jack Hitt, he's got a command on that inside lane here tonight at Line to Land as they roll down there in the corner number 1 and 2 once again here for 24 laps to go. Bob DeGood back here in 4th as you watch him go side by side there as the 7 Bob DeGood up there on the top side of 73. Larry Moody trying to navigate his way up through the field as well. As you see the 8 Scott Thompson down there on the inside. Got to watch that bump down there on the inside. Those infield tires, you don't want to really catch them. They don't play nice with midgets, that's for sure. Now you see Templeton trying to get on that lower line, coming around the speedway to get underneath Jack Hitt. Doing an okay job there. Does get underneath him there. Can he go and make something happen though here as the laps tick away? Down there against those infield tires. It's going to be Templeton there coming across the line first. As now Jack Hitt falls there in the second. Great run there by Templeton so far. As Jack Hitt is there in the second. Barker there in third as they roll it on out there. Bob DeGood in 4th. Scott Thompson 5th. Larry Moody in 6th with Joe Mossell there in 7th. As you watch him roll off the corner. Brandon Templeton down there on the inside. 18 laps to go here in the main event of your feature. As you roll on out. Great job here. Everybody works off the corner into corner 3 and 4. Back out here onto the front straightaway. As Jack Hitt takes over the lead. But Brandon Templeton fight back down there on the inside. Jack Hitt starting to find something once again up there on the top. Sliding it way out there off the corner. Going to take that lead. They're off of 1 and 2. Down here in the 3 and 4 he goes. But Templeton's still down there battling it hard. But Jack Hitt getting a run off a turn of 4. Looks like Templeton's a little bit quicker through 1 and 2. But Jack Hitt getting that run definitely off of 4 there. as they come off. And down across the stripe. Man, it's going to be hard to tell who's going to win this one. As these two out front just battle it back and forth. Hey, you see Barker back here in third. Walter Good in fourth. Moody, they're fifth. And you still got these two gentlemen out here in the front battling it hard. Templeton down there along the inside. Jack hit about mid-racetrack, working through the corners. And it looked like Templeton got out there in front once again there. Working that bottom side, but Jack Hitt's not giving up. And worked there through off of the corner. Templeton now out there in front with the lead once again. Down there along them infield tires and caught one there. They whirled down there in the 3 and 4. That is what I was saying. You got to be careful doing. You saw that front end bounce up. You don't want to do that too much. You don't want to watch that front end bounce like that as you watch Templeton grab a hold of that infield tire. Down there on the infield they go. Off the corner, Templeton still running that real low line around just outside of those infield tractor tires. They roll on down there into turn number 1. Coming there off 2, and he splits that tire. Off of 4, down there through 1 and 2. Up on that high side, Jack Hitt is still there. As we got Brandon Templeton still messing with those infield tractor tires down there. As Jack Hitt's getting that run once again up there off that top side. Up there against that outside wall. What's he going to do here as the laps wind down? They calculated him in the front. And work off a turn number 4. Jack Hitt technically as the leader as they work there off the corner. Oh no! Templeton ends up into that inside tractor tire once again. As they work there off the corner in the 1 and 2. Templeton is still down there along that inside lane. Jack Hitt all the way up there towards the top side. Jack Hitt's getting comfortable up there in that cushion. Getting that thing laid down where he needs it to get that track position. Templeton trying to fight back down there on the bottom side once again. 3 laps to go as he rolls down there off of turn number 4. Catching that infield tractor tire. 2 laps to go there for Jack Hitt here in your Regal Wrap Midgets. Larry Moody in the pits, 6 laps down. And watch Jack Hitt come there off turn number 4. Here he goes down into 1. Final time around here for Jack Hitt. Templeton down there on that inside lane. I don't think Templeton has anything for Jack Hitt. As Jack Hitt works his way off turn number 4. Down here across the stripe, Jack Hitt will get your win here at Limerland in the Regal Rats Midgets. Congrats there to Jack Hitt coming home in victory lane for another week here in the Hooters 217 Midget. Oh, here is your feature. Jack Hitt getting the win. Brandon Templeton there in second. Jet Barger third with Bobby Good fourth. Scott Thomason there in fifth. Joe Marcel there in sixth, and Larry Moody in seventh. All right, now we'll get with your race winners here. All right, here we go. Getting with Jet Barger, your third place finisher out of Brewerton, New York. Good evening there, Jeff. How's it going?
Good, Regal Wraps and Designs. How's things?
It's going well, and man, oh man. Those things look like they are a lot of fun out there as long as you stay off them infield tractor tires.
Oh yeah, those tires will reach out and grab you.
Yeah, I think Templeton found them a couple times here tonight.
Yeah, they got a little far ahead of me. I couldn't see what was going on there, but I think that's what happened.
Yeah, some of these guys, they just seem to have a knack for finding some speed in certain areas in certain cars.
Yeah. Grip hacks. I'm kidding. There's no grip hacks.
Man, you did a great job, though, keeping that thing under control all the way through the race tonight. How do you think that car felt for you most of all coming through Lima Land here tonight?
Oh, it was fine. Once again, I probably could have adventured up to the top, but I didn't because I'm a wuss. But that's all right. The bottom looked like it was pretty quick tonight for the midgets. So the top looked like it actually never came in. I probably would have had to get a half a race up there to keep the speed out of it.
Well, I don't know. Jack Kidd had that top working there at the end.
Did he? Okay.
He did. So, I mean,
All
great
right.
job there. And you got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody you want to thank there, Jeff, for coming out here and getting third in the midgets?
Regal Wraps and Designs. and Flieger Farm TV for broadcasting. And obviously Coast2Coast Racing Network and Coast2Coast Racing League. And everybody who came out and raced. I mean, that's what makes it fun.
That it does. It makes something for me to watch here to put on a show for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And you do such a good job. But yeah, sorry I forgot Regal Wraps and Designs last time. I feel so bad about that.
No, it's fine. That was the most important about that one was Mission 22. Mission 22 does the 360s, the limited late models and the 360s here on Wednesday nights.
Yeah, I couldn't remember anything. It's been so long since I've been up here.
Well, you did good here tonight.
Yeah, it was a good night.
So it should be happy with that going into next week. Try to keep a little bit of this momentum going forward, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you have yourself
All
a
right.
great night there, Jeff, and good luck next week.
Thanks, Adam.
All right, I will get with Brandon Templeton here for Dirt Track Bank. Good evening there, Brandon Templeton. How's it going?
Pretty good.
I must ask, how's that car feel after hitting a few of them tires down there?
Yeah, there was once or twice I had to let clear off the gas, I think, because I just touched it with the left front a little bit. But for the most part, there was some grip down there early. It just started fading more and more. And I think as the marbles got pushed up the track, that cushion probably built just a little bit, and Jack was able to get the momentum going high. And it's a pretty good race, though. That was fun. I think we were side by side at most of the laps.
Well, I know there was one spot there where you actually straddled the tractor tire coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, there might have been once there. I think if I'd have been a few inches lower, I'd have probably got, counted for cheating the course or something. But I let off and just tried to straddle it, hoping that, it let me do it and didn't give me a penalty or anything or any damage. So just tried not to do that next time.
Yeah, them tractor tires, they bite a little bit here in the midgets.
Yeah, and the way the weight shifts in the midgets, sometimes you go in, you get a little more or less traction or more or less wheel spin than you did the lap before. It's never exactly the same, and so it just kind of is a little bit inconsistent. I think that's what makes them fun to drive.
It is. It is. You definitely have to really mind that throttle with these things to try to get as consistent as you can.
Yeah, between that and the bumps, with the front end bouncing, they never really handle the same lap after lap. You just got to react and keep up on the wheel. But hats off to Jack on the win. It was a good race. Got to thank Jay with the Dirt Track Bank, Extreme Images by Ashley, Melee's Makery, Big C's Lawn Care, you putting on a good stream, everyone helping out with Coast to Coast behind the scenes, and everyone that sponsors tonight. Thank you.
Well, great job there, Brandon, and hopefully we can good luck next week. Now I'll get with Jack Hitt. Good evening here, Jack. How's it going?
Doing good. How you doing, Adam?
I'm doing well. Is this 2 weeks in a row now you've got the podium?
Yeah, probably podium.
Well, I
don't remember what I got last week.
Let's see here. There should be something around here. Looks like you got the win last week as well.
Yeah, there we go. I think we were missing some guys like we were tonight, but specifically Brandon last week.
Yeah, I think last week they went and took off to run the Chili Bowl or something, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Nobody told me about it. They didn't want me there.
So, great job though, and you got that Hooters number 217 back out there to the victory lane for the second week in a row. So you must be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, we're about halfway through the season. With Brandon missing a race, points are kind of hard to keep up with between he and I. You know, it'll eventually be a drop week for him, but anytime he shows up, he's going to finish strong. So, long way to go still, but it's always good to get the win.
Well, yeah, the most important part is having fun out there, and you didn't tear anything up.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a blast driving the midgets, especially me and Brandon were side by side, probably at least half the laps there. Got a little help from those tires, like you saw, but it would have been a pretty close race. You know, I knew I couldn't do what he was doing down on the bottom, so I just kept trying to go a little higher, and see where it would work. And eventually, you know, between him catching that tire and me getting pretty good runs off the corners, it worked out.
Well, great job, and can't wait to see what next week brings for you. So you got any sponsor shots? Anybody want to thank for getting that victory tonight?
Well, I got to thank you and Fleeger Farm TV for doing the broadcast. Regal Wrapping Designs for sponsoring the division so we can have it broadcasted. Of course, all the guys that show up and put on the good races, everybody that helps the league go around, and got to thank my wife for giving me time to do it.
All righty, great job there, and we'll see you next week there, Jack. Hopefully you have another stellar week.
Yep, thanks, Adam.
All right, have yourself a great night. Stay warm. All right, that was Jack Hitt, your winner there tonight. Here to finish out the Coast to Coast Racing League's Hometown Heroes, brought to you by Mission 22. And then the Regal Wraps and Designs Midgets here tonight. So thank you all for watching. Be sure to stick around at Flicker Farm TV if you're watching over there, as we got another race coming up here later tonight. It is the Gen 4 Cup Series. As for Coast to Coast Racing Network, we will say see ya tomorrow night for your Thursday Night Thunder. Have yourself a great night. Thanks again for watching.